All right, Mr. Trump was focused on a growthier message last night. Here's Scott Bessent with the president in North Carolina. Take a listen.
Kamala Harris will start with the Kamala crash in the stock market, and then it will be the Kamala crash in the economy.
All right, well, guess what? Scott Bessent joins us now, founder and CEO of Key Square Investments, and he's joined by Steve Moore, Committee to Unleash Prosperity, and host of More Money on WABC Radio. Scott Bessent, are you looking for a big stock market crash, 1929?
Well, look, Larry, I think we can't rule out anything if Kamala and the Democrats get back in November. You know, they love big government. As we're seeing, they want to put on price caps, and look what's happened in California. California has the highest income taxes in the country. Governor Walz in Minnesota, they have the 5th highest income taxes in the country. So, I think that it would be, a jar to the market if somehow they were to win, especially if they were to eke out both houses.
So let me just follow up real quickly. You were there. It looks to us like Mr. Trump gave a very on-message, growthier speech. How did you read it, Scott?
Larry, I am happy to report that Donald Trump has got his groove back. It was a fantastic speech. There was tons of policy, as you like to say. It was very growthy. I think he's been refining how he wants to talk about Vice President Harris and the Governor Walz and their failed policies. And, you can see his narrative improving on that. But I think most of all, he gave a positive outlook for the future and his vision for Trump 2.0, and loved it.
Yep. Steve Moore, I know you're itching to get in. Hang on. I'm going to play some tape from from yesterday's speech in Asheville, Carolina. Here it comes.
To further reduce consumer prices, I will immediately eliminate every single costly job-killing regulation the Biden-Harris administration has created. In my first term, our regulation cuts saved the typical American family $11,000. By repealing the Biden-Harris regulatory onslaught, we can save an estimated $20,000. We will make additional tax cuts. That's what gave us the great economy. We'll make tax cuts additionally. We'll make them permanent.
All right. So, Steve Moore, I'm sure you read more and heard more and listened more. Scott Bessent said he's got his groove back. I tend to agree. This is the growthiest he's been since the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Steve Moore, what do you make of it?
Yeah, Americans want a real recovery, Larry. And I know, Wall Street is doing well. I'm happy to see the stock market up high. But, there was a poll that just came out a month or so ago that 60% of Americans still think America's in a recession. Now, a lot of people in the media laughed and said, how stupid are these Americans? They don't understand we're not. Look, technically, we're not in a recession. I understand that. But, Larry, it's been for the last 3.5 years, the average family has lost $2,000 in real income. Or Reagan used to use the term real take-home pay. That's being reduced for the average family. And so, I would submit to you, Larry, if your income is falling, your ability to pay your bills is falling, you're in a recession. And I think that's the part that Kamala Harris doesn't understand. She's running around the country trying to convince people that Bidenomics has been a success, when if you look at virtually every statistic, Larry, almost every single one shows the economy did substantially better when Trump was president, whether it's small business optimism, or whether it's the stock market, whether it's people's real incomes, whether it's gas prices. Almost every one of those was better when Trump was president.
Well, I think, just politics aside for one moment, today's retail sales were better than expected. There's no question about it. I mean, the numbers are the numbers. On the other hand, Scott, it's interesting. Industrial production declined. Industrial production and manufacturing production look to be, frankly, in a recessionary pattern. They're now falling. The level is falling. And I would add to that, business equipment, which is a very important proxy for business investment on the supply side of the economy, that is falling. It's been falling steadily, and the housing situation has been falling. So it's an uneven economy, Scott Bessent. Just to put the politics aside for one moment, I mean, it's not a rosy scenario. it's not yet in a recession, maybe the front end of a recession. I guess that's my question to you.
Yeah, Larry, it's a bifurcated economy. And as Steve said, we've seen this for the past year. The bottom 50% of earners have been in a recession. Their inflation expectations are twice the median inflation expectations of the average household. So they're expecting 6% inflation because their inflation has been so high in food, in gas. And the other thing, Larry, is that the government largesse, this huge budget deficit that we've been running, is just going to a certain cohort. And this isn't politics, it's reality. If you are not an industrial company that's not part of the Green New Deal, not part of the CHIPS Act, then you are being starved and you're being crowded out.
Yeah. Steve Moore, the expectation tomorrow is Kamala Harris is going to give her speech on the economy, and it's federal price gouging or price controls, an attack on business. I mean, we looked at this. There is no price gouging. The evidence shows San Francisco Fed, and they're not the only ones. But this is like a repeat of Richard Nixon, for heaven's sakes, which is not really a good idea, it seems to me. What do you think? I mean, that's what she's going to come up with? That's her whole thing?
Yeah, by the way, I remember I was 12 years old, and I remember Richard Nixon giving a speech talking about we're going to have price controls, and nobody can raise their prices for, I don't know, what was it, 9 months or 6 months. It was an idiot policy. It didn't work. And look, I'm just going to say this. You have to be an economic ignoramus if you are in favor of price controls. So, Larry, tell me anywhere, anytime in the history of the world where price controls have worked. They never work. They cause shortages. They cause bigger problems for Americans. We saw that with rent control. We saw that with price controls on drugs. It never works. And yet here Kamala Harris and her economic brain trust are going to say, oh, the reason we have inflation is because of greedy corporations. Come on.
I mean, that's so old and stay. And Scott Bessent, by the way, Scott, Joe Biden's already proposed national rent controls. I think that's going to be in Kamala. National rent controls, so we can destroy the whole country's housing stock.
Look, Larry, they love big spending. They love big regulation. They ended up with big inflation. And you, better than anybody, knows what's coming next. Big taxes to pay for it all.
Yeah, you're right. Unfortunately, you're right. By the way, fortunately, Mr. Trump is talking now at some length about cutting spending and deficits. And he's right. Growthier means you can grow your way partially out of the debt and the debt problem, too. So that's a wonderful thing. Gentlemen, thank you. Steve Moore, Scott Bessent, appreciate it very much.